Oh, wait.
Apparently you just started the filming. And you're ready to go, huh?
That was from clapping, too.
Thanks, Lily. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another video of Songs That Tried to Tell Us. We live in an incredibly evil and deceitful world. And as people are awakening and we are discovering some of that deceit, it's our responsibility to share that information with other people, which is why we are doing this series of videos. Today, we are going over a song by an independent artist. I think you pronounce it Mesus? Mesus? His song is called American Terrorist. This song came out about 9 months ago, and I think it does a really good job of pointing out the realities and the deceptions and the hypocrisies that are going on. Before we dive into that song, I do want to show you something that I discovered recently. If you play any sort of game on your cell phone or on an iPad or whatever, which most of our children do, there are often ads in those video games. Most of those ads are completely innocent and lead to a game that is completely innocent, but there are some of them that get snuck in there that are incredibly inappropriate. I want to share some of those with you. Check these out.
Your friend's mom for a chase. I found my stepson's phone. And guess what I saw there? This viral mobile RPG game called Hero Wars. Why didn't anyone tell me that after the tutorial, it gets even hotter? It turned out to be a huge fantasy universe with millions of players online. You will play it anyway.
As we hear people saying, we're not coming for the children, why are people so worried that everyone's coming for the children? Why else would they put such sexually explicit videos in our children's ads for new games for them to play? It's massively inappropriate, and it's setting our children up for a very dangerous future if they get curious about what they're seeing in these ads and they go down that rabbit hole to figure out more. I also recently discovered a video that was created in 2020 by the San Francisco Gay Choir. I want you to take a look at this and then tell me what your thoughts are.
You think that we'll corrupt your kids if our agenda goes unchecked? Funny, just this once, you're correct. We'll convert your children. Happens bit by bit, quietly and subtly, and you will barely notice it. Come on, try a little pride. We'll convert your children. Then we'll turn to you. Giving up the fear inside is freeing like you never knew. We'll make an ally of you yet.
They're literally telling us they're coming for our children. Like it's in the song. They're not hiding it. They're literally saying that that is the intention. When they tell us things, we need to listen. When I was less aware of what was happening around us, I was really good at justifying, like, what a funny joke. They're not actually coming for our children, or it's satirical, is what I always chalked it up to being. When the reality of the situation is, they are telling us directly to our faces what the agenda is, what their goal is. They are coming for the children, period. So protect your children. Make sure that you know where they are and what they're viewing online and what kind of ads are in the games that they're playing. Maybe pay that $2.99 so the ads don't show up anymore. Whatever it is you need to do to protect your children, do it, because they are literally coming for them. And on that fun note, let's get to the song for today. Again, this is Mesus. If I'm saying that wrong, tell me in the comments because I don't actually know. And the song is American Terrorist. Let's get going.
If you're white, then you're a racist. If you're black, then you're oppressed. If you're an Indian, Asian, Hispanic, don't matter, your lives ain't getting oppressed. If you're a cop, you're just a killer.
I have to stop at that one. If you're a cop, you're just a killer. My husband's been a police officer for 15 years. He has never once had to pull the trigger at a person. He's had to put down a couple animals before, but he has never pulled the trigger with his gun pointed at a person. The main training that they get, and they have to do hours, like a specific amount of hours of annual training every year, and every time it's about de-escalation. That is their entire responsibility, is to de-escalate situations. Sometimes the situation warrants ending the threat. It's rare, but it does happen. But the vast majority of times that you interact with a police officer, it is not deadly in any way, shape, or form. It is a lie that the mainstream narrative has created for us to breed more division between all of us.
And everyone knows you should be defunded. That way when shots ring out of blocks, the shooters will know no one is coming. Say that you're straight, I bet you hate gays. And all of that hate is cause you're afraid. And not cause you're sick of it shoved in your face while they celebrate with pornographic parades.
That's so good. If you're straight, you must hate gays, and we're afraid. And it's definitely not because they celebrate with their pornographic parades. What I have not been able to wrap my head around for such a long time, our veterans get literally one day to be recognized and celebrated. The LGBT, etc. community gets an entire month. And then in addition to that, we've now added in like Trans Awareness Day and Coming Out Day and all these things. So over a month that these people who have mental illness most of the time are being celebrated. I don't understand it. I can't wrap my head around how backwards our society has become. And it's not that we're afraid. It's not that we hate them by any means. It's that we don't want people who are wearing like literally a rainbow thong and dancing through the street, women running down the street with pasties, and that's it. Like, that's not appropriate for children to be viewing. That's where my concern is coming from. I don't have a problem with the LGBT community in general. I do have a problem when it's directed toward our children and it's being shoved down our throats. Not sorry.
And if you love God, well then you hate science. Even though both views are living with faith. Either have faith that God made the world in 6 days, or the universe did with a bang. Bang! I am so sick of these labels. I am so sick of celebrities pushing agendas whenever I'm flipping through cable. If you're a liberal, then you're gonna say that I suck and cry while I tell you the truth. And if you're conservative, every day you pray to Trump and smile with only one tooth.
Ooh, yeah. For the most part, I think that Trump did a really good job as president. I do think that near the end, when the pandemic came and all of a sudden he was pushing that juice just as hard, if not harder than everybody else, that's when I realized maybe he's not my guy. He's saying they're praying to Trump. People really do almost worship him. And it's almost like bordering antichrist type stuff, like false prophet type things that we read about in the Bible. I think Trump did a really good job. I think he did a lot of great things for us. I also think that he's a billionaire. He's an elite. Can we really trust him? Because the vast majority of them are members of that secret club that we all know about. And is he a member? I don't know. The likelihood is pretty high, though, based on the fact that he was raised by a billionaire and has continued to see success throughout his life, and the fact that he was put into the presidency because, I don't know if you know this or not, but literally every president has been a Freemason. So I'm just saying, these are some thoughts for you to think about, but I don't think that Trump is the end-all be-all. It's kind of wild watching people blindly worship him. The Republicans and the Democrats are two wings to one bird. We are not as divided and against each other as we think we are.
And if you're Republican, you hate colored skin and love KKK. And if you ain't Democrat, well then you ain't black. But if Joe said it's okay, okay.
Yes! When Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black, that's not considered racist, but now mathematics literally math, like 2 + 2 = 4 is now considered racist. Like, what is this clown world that we're living in? It doesn't make sense, guys.
If you wear a mask, then you're a hero. Even though the fact is it does zero. Ain't an expert, oh, you doubt me? Don't talk to me, talk to Fauci.
Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face. Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask.
That clip from Fauci happened right at the beginning of the pandemic, and shortly thereafter, he was paid off by Big Pharma to then completely do a 180 and start pushing masks heavily. Still, to this day in 2023, we still see people walking around with masks on their faces. I am by no means a doctor, but I did work in the medical field for about a decade. I was a medical assistant and I was a CNA. I took care of multiple people in my career as a CNA who had tuberculosis. This pandemic was pushed as if it was as scary and as dangerous as tuberculosis. When you take care of a patient that has tuberculosis, you have to wear a full suit with a little like respirator air purifier on your back so that you are only rebreathing your own air and you are not breathing any air from the person who is infected. If COVID was that dangerous, there is no way that a little tiny piece of fabric on your face is going to make any difference whatsoever. As Fauci said, it might stop a little bit of spittle from flying, but other than that, it's not going to do anything. In an operating setting, they put on a mask so that any fluids from the patient that fly up don't get in their mouth. So it's to protect yourself. And this whole idea that was pushed on us that these masks are necessary to protect and save our neighbor, it's just propaganda.
Let me be clear, you will not vaccinate me. Gotta pray for the sheep who can't see, they deceive. More they sense of the truth, just more proof we ain't free. Thinking that we still are is the conspiracy.
Ah! Sorry, that was a loud ha. The conspiracy is thinking that we're still free. That is so true. We are given the illusion of choice. They make it look like we have choices. But all of those people who refused to get the juice and then got canned, how free do you think they felt? They weren't even allowed to make decisions for their own health, their own bodily autonomy. They were not allowed to make those choices because if they didn't choose to get vaxxed, then they ended up losing their job, their way to support their families. That's not freedom.
Man, they treat us like slaves, not over here cause we used to be brave. I say used to be cause the new school generation full of cowards, boy. I said what I said, and if you don't like it, then fight me, boy. You should be fighting for something. Y'all so brainwashed by your Nikes, boy. Tell you just do it, you still won't do nothing. We all online talking, but still won't do nothing. I'm drawing the line, gotta kill me, no bluffing. You think that I'm doing this way more than music? I'm forming a movement, enough is enough, man. It's time to unite for the American flag.
Enough is enough. It's time to unite. I love that. I love that he's trying to use his voice to help wake people up and to help people recognize that we're not alone in seeing the evils and the deceptions that are happening around us. And that's exactly what I'm trying to do here with this channel as well. It's our responsibility to help other people to see, help them to wake up.
Stop all these fights about who white, brown, or black. Cause if we don't fight to get America back, pretty soon we won't have no America left. It's pathetic, our president can't finish sentences. Should be locked up doing sentences. Cause last time I checked, I thought that was a crime. You say he ain't stealing, you live out your mind.
Our president can't finish sentences. Oh, Uncle Joe. I honestly feel bad for him. I know that sounds silly, but I really do. He is just a senile old man who is being used as a puppet. He is not in charge. He is not running our country. I want to show you this clip that Obama said in an interview that he did a few years back.
You know what? If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a front man or front woman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, and then I could sort of deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking and ceremony. Wow. I'd be fine with that.
Joe is now just the puppet, and is Obama actually the one that's in charge and pulling the strings? Maybe. I don't know for sure. I don't know exactly who's in charge. I know the organization that's in charge, the Triangle organization, but I don't know That's not true. I do know, because the one that runs the Triangle organization, the Illuminatis or the Freemasons, the one at the very top is Satan. And he is running rampant, and he is totally just having a heyday. The world is his playground right now, but we know that that doesn't last forever. There's no reason to fear the fact that he is running the show right now, because we know that Jesus wins.
The left is so blind, Lord, how many signs? You gotta keep sending us on the end times. Hell got so hot that the ocean on fire. The devil's the cat, but you know he alive. Rather die than retreat, I will never retire. I'm built for the heat, I run straight to the fire. When you telling the truth, then you get crucified. But the truth is a lie, so I ain't scared to die. Man, look in my eye, you think this is music? I got a voice and I'm finna use it. I don't follow money, I follow God. Y'all making music, I'm making movement.
I love when he says, I don't follow money, I follow God. That is so important, especially in our world today. We have to trust God. And sometimes he may ask us to do things that are a little bit crazier, that maybe don't make a lot of sense, but he can see the whole picture, where we've got like this little itty bitty view that we can see ourselves. He sees absolutely everything. So as we trust God, as we follow him, as we do as he commands, we are going to be blessed so much. And maybe those blessings don't look quite like what we anticipated, but they are beautiful and incredible and exactly what we need from our Father in heaven.
It's a true, it's don't play the games that you play. You say screw my freedom, don't screw what you say. You call me a terrorist cause I have questions. When our government's the ones who act like who says.
You call me a terrorist because I have questions. That is a powerful statement. Asking questions is not a bad thing. In fact, we should be asking questions. The truth is, we are supposed to blindly accept whatever we are taught. We are supposed to blindly accept whatever is stated in the news, in the mainstream media. We have done that for so many decades now that many, many people in our society are just straight brainwashed. And they don't even realize that they are. That's the scary part. We need to speak out. We need to help people recognize truth and see where the light is, because we need to have original thoughts. And original thoughts come from asking questions. So start asking questions. If things aren't adding up, why are they not adding up? Seek answers to those things, and it's incredible what you'll find. Sometimes it's pretty dark and it's not the most pleasant, but I would much rather know what's going on in the world around us than be blind and brainwashed.
Getting insane, this is so much more than music, boy. Music, boy. I got a voice God gave me and I'm gonna use it, boy. Use it, boy. I don't make music, homie, I'm making a movement, boy. Movement, boy. So get with the movement or move it, dog. I said move it, boy. Move. So how about we chill with all of these labels? I am just me and you are just you.
I love that. Chill with all the labels. The group of people who used to be so angry, don't label me, I'm just a person, are now obsessed with labels. The label that first pops to mind is cis women and cis men. That is the most disgusting label. It just feels icky. I'm not a cis woman, I'm just a woman. Period. And when we tell them that cis makes us uncomfortable, they get upset with us. But these are the same people that if I were to call you non-binary when you actually are a Z's or Zen, whatever, like they're gonna lose it on you because they can't mentally handle it. It makes no sense. Instead of using all these labels that divide us and pull us apart, we are just human beings. We are just children of God. And with that label, the label of child of God, we can come back together and we can be far more united and far more peaceful with one another.
Stop judging books by covers they have and make love the way that we all introduce. And how about we chill with all of these labels? I am just me and you are just you. Stop judging books by covers they have and make love the way that we all introduce.
That was awesome. That's my first song that I've ever heard from Mesus. I think he did a really great job of speaking truth and touching on a lot of different topics that are really important for us to look at. The biggest thing I want to remind you as we step away from this is, number one, we are children of God above all else. Number two, ask questions. Start figuring out what's happening in the world around us. Why is that happening? Who owns these different companies? And the people that are pushing all of these ideas, all of these agendas, the celebrities and the elites and the mainstream media, what is their source? Where is all of that coming from? Once you start diving down those places and asking those questions and finding answers, that's when you start really waking up to what's happening around us. Good luck on your quest to dive down those rabbit holes. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. Have a fantastic day, everybody. That I'm Mama, signing out. Boom!